Welcome Dash fam, Best Dasher Alive here, aka Daddy Dasher. And if you haven't already, check out my video titled $1,900 My First Week Door Dashing. And in this video, I'm going to break down how to DoorDash for beginners. There are two different DoorDash apps. There's the DoorDash app where people order food, and then there's the Dasher app, which is for the drivers, the people that are picking up the deliveries and delivering them. When you go through the sign up process, it's going to have you fill out your personal information and then also link a vehicle and a payment account. As far as vehicle goes, it can be a car, a motorcycle, an e-bike, or a regular bicycle. Now, some of those options may or may not be available in different areas depending on what DoorDash has chosen to allow or not allow in that area. But with that said, you can have inputted a certain type of vehicle but actually be using a different type of vehicle. And I don't know if this is actually the case. I haven't tested it, but I have seen people mention it, that if you are on a motorcycle or an e-bike or bicycle, even then maybe it's still better to have a car in there, because then DoorDash will give you car delivery offers. And if you're on a motorcycle or bicycle, then it might limit you. And if you haven't, I also think it's a good idea to actually order food through the order food side of DoorDash. Download that app and order food that way. I'm not trying to get you to start ordering food a bunch through DoorDash. I don't really care at all, but I'm just saying, for being a DoorDash driver, it's helpful to know what that side of the process looks like. As a new Dasher, I think there's gonna kind of be two things that you feel. One is maybe like a little bit nervous, overwhelmed. Overwhelmed might not be the right word, but it's something new that you haven't done yet. So you got to go through a little bit of a learning process that can be a little bit uncomfortable. Unknown is the better word. The second thing you're going to feel is that you need to hurry. And no, you do not need to hurry. It's much more about the strategy that you deploy that's going to help you earn more money, not how fast are you driving or are you running in and out of stores. I go into strategy a lot in my other videos, so check out some of those videos. So let's say you're all signed up as a Dasher and now you're on your first dash. How it's going to work is DoorDash is going to send you offers, and you can either accept or reject those offers. And each offer is going to tell you where to pick up the order, where to drop off the order, how many miles it's going to be, and how much you're going to make for that pickup and delivery. And then each offer comes with a timer attached to it, and once that timer counts down and expires, then the offer is gone. And if you just let the timer expire, it's not a big deal. You can absolutely do that. But if you want to accept it, then you just click the accept button. And especially at the beginning as a new DoorDasher, that timer will frustrate you. It will make it feel like you need to hurry. And the reason for that from the DoorDash company side of things is if there's a timer and you can make people feel hurried, then they're gonna accept orders that they wouldn't have if they had more time to evaluate it. And there's two kinds of offers that DoorDash can send you. One is just a solo offer, where it's pick up at one restaurant, drop off at one location. And those always come with, I think it's a 30 or a 35-second timer. But then there's also stacked offers, where when you get the offer, instead of pick up at one place, drop off at one place, maybe it's pick up at one place, drop off at two places. Or maybe it's pick up at two places, drop off at one place, or pick up at two places, drop off at two places, or pick up at one place, drop off at three places. Not only is there a timer that's rushing you and making you feel like you gotta hurry, but then there's also a total might be higher in parentheses. So here's your dollar amount, but hey, you never know, might come in a lot higher. And this is another place where strategy is really important. My strategy is always, I don't care at all about the total might be higher. If it comes in higher, cool, like that's an extra bonus. So I evaluate the restaurant, how many miles, and then the dollar amount that it says I'm gonna get paid. And I don't think at all about, oh, how much did the customer tip, or are they gonna tip more? There's no need to feel nervous or hurried or pressured or worried. Like if anything does go wrong, which probably isn't, it's pretty straightforward. You pick up the food and you go drop it off. Not too much involved, but if something does go wrong, just know that DoorDash does a very good job at just refunding people their money, and that pretty much always solves it. If you drop the food and completely destroyed it, just chat into customer support. You don't even necessarily need to contact the customer. You can just contact support, tell them what happened, and they can take care of it for you. And if I didn't mention it already, definitely check out this video where I do an entire walkthrough of kind of every single feature in the app. When it shows you what restaurant to go pick it up at, there's an instructions section where the restaurant will have instructions on where you're supposed to go to pick up the order. With that said, a lot of restaurants have not updated that section in a really long time, so it might be outdated. It might not say anything there. Sometimes you have to go ask the employee, talk to the employee, and other restaurants, they just have a rack where you just walk up and grab the order. And then once you pick up the food and you're headed to the customer's house, there's also a section for the customer to leave instructions for you. and that section is going to tell you whether to leave the order at the door or if they want you to hand it to them. Sometimes it says both, and if that's the case, I call the customer and I just ask, hey, it's telling me both to leave it at your door, hand it to you, which one would you like me to do? And also they can add additional information to that. If there's a gate code, if they want you to leave it on a table outside of the door, if they want you to leave it outside of the gate and not come through their gate. Especially when you're a beginner, don't worry about communicating with the customer. The app, as you go through each step, is going to update in their app, and so they can look and see how things are progressing. Some people definitely disagree with me here, but I don't see it as worth my time or effort to try and over communicate and be super friendly with customers in hopes that they give me an extra tip, because that's almost never going to happen. Occasionally, can that happen? Sure. If there is any issue, or you have a question, or you're confused about anything, then absolutely communicate with the customer. Always, every single time, just go to the front of the line. Now, don't be rude, like if the employee is in a conversation with the customer and that's the only employee that's there, then probably wait for them to finish their conversation. Use an insulated bag. You should see how stuffed I have this thing sometimes. If you're just getting started, like, you don't absolutely have to use an insulated bag, but it is really nice. It does absolutely help keep people's food or drinks cold or warm or hot, however they come. If you're in really small areas where it's really low volume of DoorDashing happening, then maybe this will matter a little bit more. But any area that's like medium to high volume of DoorDashing, I think don't worry about your acceptance rate. If all you're doing is trying to keep your acceptance rate high, to keep that color green, to be top dasher status, in order to do that, you're gonna have to accept a bunch of orders that are just not good orders to accept. And if you just deploy better strategy and decline all those orders and choose to deliver better ones, you'll make more money that way than if you just try to obey DoorDash telling you to keep a high acceptance rate. And me personally, instead of just letting the timers expire on the offers, I like to use my decline options, which you'll see in the top right of the screen. If you click decline, then it opens up a list of different options, which you can use to give feedback to DoorDash, to the algorithm, of why you don't like that offer. And watch my video on how to get the biggest orders on DoorDash, where I break this down very thoroughly. Those feedback options are absolutely influential, especially in higher volume DoorDash areas. And I definitely think it's worth dashing in whatever zone you're already in, but then also exploring surrounding zones as well. I've talked to several people in the comments where they say, yeah, the area I'm in sucks, but if I drive 20 minutes away and dash in that zone, I kill it and I make really good money over there. There's also what are called shopping orders or red card orders. The reason they're also called red card orders is because you need to get a red card in order to complete those orders, because you're gonna go shop for items, then you actually go to the checkout and pay for them with your red card, and then you go deliver to the customer. And DoorDash says that that's an opportunity for you to make more money, but the way I see it is it's really just the same as all of the other offers. You just have to evaluate it and see if it's a good offer or not. DoorDash also does alcohol deliveries, and in order to accept those and deliver those, you're going to have to be 21 years or older with a valid ID. And when you show up at the customer to drop off their order, you're going to have to scan their ID in the DoorDash app to make sure it's valid, and then you're also going to have to just make sure that the person matches the ID. As far as getting paid, I mentioned in the beginning of the video, you'll have to link some sort of payment option, and DoorDash does give you a few different options. One is to link your own bank account and get a free weekly deposit from DoorDash. The second costs $1.99, and you're able to transfer money at any time instantly to your bank account. And then the third option is I think they call it the Dasher Direct card, where it's just basically a debit card that DoorDash provides you that they instantly drop your money on, and then you're able to just go use that as a regular card at stores, or you can pull money off of that card, or you can transfer money from that card into your bank account. If it's not busy enough, it's not going to let you dash. The only other way around that is to schedule your dashes in advance, just by simply using the schedule feature inside of the app. I personally love to use that, and I try and schedule out as far out in advance as I can. And just know that if you did schedule a dash, it's okay to miss it. Like, nothing happens if you schedule it and just don't start your dash.